man once walked the edge of stone with a canvas sack and a weather tone. Said the ground remembers what we forget, if you're willing to kneel where the tide gets wet. I laughed at first, said the world's moved on. He smiled like he'd heard that song too long. Then he placed a shape in my open hand, said this once lived where you now stand. He told me of seas where the hills now rise, of creatures that swam under ancient skies, of time so slow it learns to wait, while mountains bow to a patient fate. He said we don't find these things by force, we follow the quiet, we follow the course, and when the stone's ready it'll let you see what it's been keeping patiently. So I walked.
You can find some fossils here actually loose on the foreshore. For these you don't need any tools, but actually most of the fossils you're likely to find will actually require some kind of tool, a hammer and a chisel for example, in order to extract them. As with all these locations that are SSSI, you must only collect from the loose material. This is legal, it's perfectly fine. The only rocks you cannot touch are the ones which are fixed to the cliff face and the ones that are fixed to the ground. I like to take my geological hammer here, which is very useful for hitting chisels with. I also prefer this, which is a long-handled lug hammer. It's extremely useful for breaking boulders down. This is a gag bar. It's got one extremely sharp point and one flat surface here. You can use this for splitting rocks. And this is a safety chisel. In my opinion, extremely important, because if you was to miss hitting the end, your hands are protected by the guard. Having said that, I would always wear gloves, which are quite important for keeping your hands from being hit. And the most important thing here is safety glasses. Whenever you're using tools, wherever you are, please remember to wear safety glasses.
When you first walk onto the beach from the slopeway, you will notice that the cliffs on the right are red in colour. These red cliffs are Triassic in age, and they are part of the Mercia mudstone formation. There are no fossils in this rock, so you'll need to carry on walking ahead towards the grey rocks further on. As you reach towards the end of the red cliffs, you will notice there is a big fault here. This is known as the Blue Anchor Fault. The cliffs can be seen at 45-degree angle. This makes them very dangerous as rocks can slide down. It is an area of frequent rockfalls. At the base of the cliff, you will notice that the layers contain gypsum. This is marked by a pink or white colour bands that run horizontal. This bed is also Triassic in age, but it marks part of the Blue Anchor Formation. Above this layer is the Westbury Formation, and this is the layer at which most of the bone blocks come from. These bone blocks are Rhaetian in age, and they are very similar to the famous cliffs of Ost and also of Penarth in Wales. The bone bed marks the very top of the Westbury Formation, with the white liars sitting upon it. At the very top, you reach the Jurassic rocks of the Blue Liars Formation. Further round the corner, you can find bones from the Jurassic.
These are the bone bed blocks you need to look out for. They are Triassic in age and are full of bones and coprolites.
So I just split this piece here. It's actually full of various different bones. There's actually coprolites in here as well. But what's interesting is this little tiny tooth here. Now this is a type of shark fish that's sort of a cross between the two, called Arcrodus, and it's quite common here, but they're not easy to find because they can break up. But it's actually this tooth here.
I've actually just picked this up here, and it's quite nice within the rock, and it's a fish tooth, and it's called a Sevenichthus. It's just sat nicely in the rock there.
So this Rishan bone bed here is absolutely packed with various bones. Not just bones, but coprolites too. Although you can get a lot of fish and shark in them, you do occasionally get some reptile bones as well, all mixed up. It is unfortunately extremely hard. It tends to split quite well if you've got a bedding plane or it's been weathered with a natural crack. But other than that, it is quite hard to split open. But you can see inside the layer is quite crammed with bone. So if you can just see here, there is actually another Archroda's tooth, which is a sort of a fish shark type. That one just there. You see it there?
I've just spotted a small fish vertebra and a worn tooth.
We spend a couple of hours looking at the bone blocks just before the corner. Then we decide to make a move further round the corner to where more of the Jurassic rocks are prominent. Just spotted this rather worn ammonite, bit unusual in the fact that it comes from the White Liars.
Just found this on the foreshore, a really nice big piece of bone. Not quite sure what it is yet. Siloceras ammonites are very common from this side of Blue Anchor and are the earliest known ammonites in Britain. In some layers, they can be iridescent. Oh, just a broken piece of ammonite.
Unfortunately, after searching in the shingle for another hour, we didn't find any reptile bones. These are commonly found loose, and they come from the Jurassic rocks at the top of the cliff. It was bitterly cold, so we decided to head back home. Please remember to like and subscribe to see more of our videos.